get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Salute, Knicks Nation. Coming to you from the road. Ready to have a conversation. Had to get on here and shout some people out. Talk about this loss earlier today. The New York Knicks went down at MSG to Oklahoma City Thunder, 135 to 145. And we're going to talk about it. It's going to be a quick show, but we're going to chop this thing up as the Knicks get ready to head out on the road. Right? Salute to the chat. Let's get into it. Salute, Knicks Nation. Tough to watch earlier today. Again, what can we say? The Knicks, they're inventing new ways to lose games, right? Yep, that's a tap, exactly, right? Took the words out of my mouth, man. Prometheus, tough to watch. I mean, it's still very early in the season, but it's like the way the Knicks have lost games, it's the same way, essentially. The Knicks offense has definitely picked itself up. The Knicks put up 135, a record first quarter, 48 points, and still lost the game. I mean, go figure, right? Let's shout out some people. JJ, salute, fam. What a mess. OKC isn't even a good three-point shooting team, and we couldn't stop it tonight, right? You know, it's 48 minutes of concentration as well, like we've been talking about too, JJ, with that situation. You know, this team starts feeling themselves, you know, when they get in the groove, things are going well. We seem to be so inconsistent that the thing can flip straight away, right? Up 23 against Atlanta, blew the game. Up 9 against Cleveland, blew the game. Up today, blew the game. Again, you know, there's just that lack of concentration and effort as well, right? Phillips, salute. Another degrading loss. It's disgusting, right? Yeah. And what I wanted to say tonight is about the way the Knicks lose. You know, I could handle, because, you know, I've been saying this season ain't about wins and losses to me. It's about improvement, development, all of that. And, you know, this organization moving in a good direction. However, you know, the way they're losing games, the inconsistency is incredible. You know, that's a sign of a really bad team. You know, you invent new ways to lose the game, right? Good thing is we're going to likely be getting a low lottery pick. I say tank, JJ. You know, that might sound more and more likely, even if the Knicks don't want to. This West Coast trip, we'll talk about it. We'll look at the box score quickly, but we'll talk about the road ahead mostly. Still, obviously, early in the season. You know, the Knicks only one game below 500. If you're looking at the wins and losses this season, if that's something you're looking at, I'm not. I'm looking at, you know, improvement from within. We've seen some improvement from some of the young players on the bench, you know, today. But the coach, Tom Thibodeau, poor rotations. Again, the closing lineup was suspect. RJ Barrett, you know, was in foul trouble, was benched. Obviously, early in the third, didn't get on again. Obi Toppin didn't get to finish the game. Less minutes than Evan Fournier. Right, so I don't know what to make of that. I mean, Evan Fournier's role, you've reduced his role over the last 3-4 games, and you have him close the game out. I mean, which is crazy to think, you know. Yeah, you know, a lot of us just want this organization to pick a direction. You know, today it just went against, I don't know, whatever direction. There is no direction from today, from what I'm seeing. You know, what I'm observing right now. But yeah, apologize for the sound if there's some stuff in the background. But coming to you from the road today, got to chop this thing up. King Puppy, blessings to you, bro, as well. Appreciate you. Yeah, just a gross loss. Lily Phillips and Trini, salute. What I was going to say is, I could handle the way the Knicks lose if it's by 1 point. They give max effort. You know, they take teams all the way to the edge. They play with hustle, energy, heart, all those things. Knicks fans get behind that. We've shown over the years we appreciate effort and we appreciate hard play, right? What we don't appreciate is losses like this, losses like this. You're not seeing an identity. If Tom Thibodeau is a tough, defensive-minded coach, I know it's not fully to blame on him in terms of what this roster is like. The point I'm going to make is like, what's the purpose of having what he brings if that's not in line with this roster and this team and the direction of that, right? Lily, with some news, appreciate you. Haven't had a chance to really chop up, jump online and see the wash up of today. But Begley has confirmed that Tom's seat is getting warmer. Yeah, appreciate you. Not surprising, fam, because we know the front office is a lot of voices, a lot of talk last season as well from William Wesley. I did see Steph Bondy's tweet that the security for James Dolan was still outside his suite 40 minutes after the game as well, right? Either go for it or do a full tank rebuild. This no man's land being in the middle is dead end, right? Facts. Yep, dead end. And they're doing some good things, Some of the young players have had an increased role. Mitch is out. They've been playing Obi a little bit more. We talked about it last post game, 22 minutes last game. But then today was just a revert back to Tom Thibodeau just going with the lineup that he thinks is going to win him the game, because other people are struggling or foul trouble, whatever it is. It's so up and down that the locker room and the young players just, I don't know, really know what they would be thinking right now. Us fans really don't know what to think because there's a heck of inconsistency with that. E. Gibson, salute. I'd take the over on Tibbs not lasting this season. He will be the fall guy, right? Players are not responding, and there are other issues as well. Yep. And he's in a tough spot. Like I said, I don't blame everything on Tibbs. It's just, is he, I've always been saying, I don't think he's the right coach right now for this team. 2 years ago when they came in, I can understand the goal was to try to land a big fish, land a big star, make some moves up the standings and get good real quick. He's not the youngest guy, his philosophies as well. He really wanted the Knicks to go all in on Donovan Mitchell as well. Mark Berman, friend of the show, talked about it with us about how disappointed Tibbs was not to get Spider, because that aligns with his goal. His goal was to try to win ASAP right now, but the front office has failed him. The front office has failed Tibbs on that regard in terms of if, he's desperate to win ASAP and they just weren't able to get that deal done, right? So, we just got to look forward. We got to look ahead. This organization is in a position where they've got a lot of picks. They've got a bright future still. Well, I don't think this team's in purgatory because things can flip with a switch. However, you got to have the right people in place and you got to make the right decisions now, and you got to go in the right direction, right? Reese says no perimeter D is going to kill our season, right? Yeah, it's going to be tough, Size today, SGA, Giddy, just getting wherever they wanted to on the floor, getting to their spots with all of that. That was key. That was key. The Knicks are getting out really well. Obviously, the starting unit can run more with Cam there, Hartenstein. Look really good in the first quarter. But like I said, the effort and the concentration and the closeout, the schemes as well. It's a blend of a lot of things, right? You can't just pinpoint one thing to fix this team's issues. I think it goes deeper than that. Salute Will, salute fam in the chat. Let's go, let's get it. Tariq, salute. Appreciate you. How did you see today, fam? Give us your thoughts, right? We're here to shout some people out. It won't be a longer show because I've got some stuff on today, but I had to get on here and get some thoughts out there from everybody as we head to this West Coast trip. as well. BN, why Fournier? Again, yeah, that was puzzling. Definitely with Obi sitting as well. You know, and I can feel like maybe you wanted to make a certain statement, but from game to game, you're going against your philosophies again. The last 2-3 games, Fournier had played 12 minutes. You know, you reduced his role, and then you're shuffling again. You know, you're shuffling back today. We needed stops, really. I mean, 135, we scored enough to win the game, but we needed stops, basically. And stops we couldn't get, you know. I've been saying right up until this point that I feel like this team is still a true 500 team. They haven't shown me anything else yet. You know, it's going to be up, there's going to be down, there's going to be some feel-good wins, and there's going to be some horrible losses, you know, with this season, right? But I'm more observing decisions now, personnel moving ahead now. What direction are we going in? You know, it's a crazy stacked draft. You know, Washington's doing really well. You know, there's a great chance that Washington can make the playoffs, and then the Knicks will end up with 3 draft picks, ladies and gentlemen, 3 draft picks. You know, this season. Will says I felt like we did something after the 48 point first and went into cruise control. Yep, that's what I was saying earlier too, Will. Yep, we start feeling ourselves a bit with this thing. Greenhouse, let's get it. JT, salute. What's good? Almighty Finesse as well. RJ had a slump today. Well, he's up and he's down at the moment. My expectations aren't as high on RJ in terms of his ceiling, but you know, RJ is going to be a solid player in this league. He's going to be a pro. Starts slow. He's started to get better this season. Today was a struggle. Got into foul trouble early. And with that said, I still feel like you got to rock with your young players. You know, the Knicks' direction for me, moving ahead, the direction we need to go is we just need to not worry about wins and losses. I mean, wins and losses can't dictate your rotation, can't dictate your trades, you know. Chat, with this situation, right, we just need to let players make mistakes, let them sit on the floor, right, but rock with the personnel who are going to be around for longer than some of these veterans. For me, right, it ain't about wins and losses. You know, players got to play through mistakes, right? With Tibbs, he's so adamant on winning every single game, every single minute, that his rotations dictate that. You know, a guy's in foul trouble, a young player, he'll bench him for the rest of the second half. You know, those kinds of things feel like aren't the way to go with this. Tariq says RJ had a bad game, right? Let's not get foolish. Yep. 100%, you know. If people want to be low on RJ's overall package, you know, larger sample size, then they're welcome to have that opinion. You know, he hasn't shown himself to be, you know, a 3rd overall selection yet, but he's still got ways to go, you know, still got ways to go. I think the extension is something that is still going to look okay in the future. I don't think it's a terrible contract. With that said, RJ needs to be more consistent, right? It's most of this game is mental, fam. It's about concentration, 48 minutes, the will to want to win. You know, we can put it together for a quarter or two, and then we just fall away, right? This read and react offense, no system from Tibbs is conducive to these huge swings in games, you know, getting up by 38 points, putting up 48 points, getting up by 23 points, letting the game slip, right? Will says, I think we'll catch a break or 2 on this trip. Maybe some stars sit out. Maybe we go 2-3. That, yep. We'll look ahead to that, fam. But yeah, I put in the chat too, this West Coast trip's come at a good time and a bad time. I mean, whichever side you sit on, it's going to bring things to a head. Basically, what I'm saying is the Knicks will persevere through this road trip, and they'll end up with a solid record, or it'll go more downhill, right? Yep. So all your rookies, Tariq says the Knicks got to have to go through some pains. Facts, yeah. And I think that's what make this front office a bit scared to do this. We ride so heavily. The Knicks fan base is so passionate. We ride through every game, win or loss. We want to see wins as well. Tom Thibodeau coaching his A off to try to win every game. But for once, we just need to step back and look at the overall picture of this thing and where this organization's going, right? The NBA is coming up fast on you. We've got young teams coming through. OKC, a lot of people saying that OKC are rebuilding, but I think they've been tanking long enough to not be rebuilding. They've got great players, all-stars, borderline all-stars, that are good enough to win OKC games now, right? So they can't really hold on to that excuse no more, OKC. I think they're good enough to win games now, right? Yep, JT, salute. Let's get it. Yeah, people, get in their feelings, get emotional, get upset, all of that. You just got to ride out the season, like I said, not game to game, because it's 82 games, it's ups, there's downs. But let's look at the sample sizes. Let's look at the trends, right? The Knicks have blown leads. The Knicks have struggled down the stretch. They need more leaders on the floor. Jalen Brunson's trying his hardest, but I point the finger at a lot of these veterans. You got to point the finger somewhat to Julius Randle. Defensively, his effort is poor. Played well today in terms of box score. The box score looks sexy for Julius, but you need to watch the games to really see, right? Is he a winning player? He's been in this league 7, 8, 9 years. Every team he's been on has been a losing team, basically, except for that, 4th seed, right? See, the front office almighty, I think they're going to have one more coaching fire up their sleeve. They're going to have a lifeline with that. I think they're going to let Tibbs go before they get let go. Right? I think Dolan got a little bit more patience. Yep. Pudge says today's game eye-opening. A lot of politics with Tibbs, right? He'll be a goner soon. Yep. With that, Dolan's stayed out the way, but he's watching more closely now. He doesn't like these bad losses at MSG. Not to no rebuilding team. Right? I know they got talent, but he doesn't like that, especially off a bad loss to Brooklyn as well. JT says, what good is getting a star right now when there's no system for them to shine, though? With that, there's plenty of good coaches out there still. Tom Thibodeau can get the most out of a veteran roster. We're just not at that point right now, right? Players just aren't playing as hard for him right now. Yep. Trini says, yep, seems like every day there's a new captain of the ship, no real direction. Yep. It's still early. Let them fight through this adversity. Let losses pile up. We need to see direction, what this team's really going to do. Now, today, the rotations were the biggest issue, not the loss, none of that. It's how we lose, The Knicks have been inventing ways to lose games. If you look at it, and how I separate a loss, right? Opening night at Memphis, that was a good loss. You could categorize that loss as a decent loss, We took a Western Conference contender all the way to the edge. Now, what are these bad losses? The Cleveland one, the Brooklyn one, the Celtics one, where we let them hit a franchise record on us. The Atlanta loss, capitulation, 23 points. And tonight. So basically, almost every single loss has not been an ordinary loss. It's been a bad loss, letting, teams do silly things on us and invent new ways to lose. So with that, yeah, inconsistency right at this point in time. I think the national media, everyone knows that the Knicks is a real play-in team right now. Sincere salute. Like I said, Washington's doing pretty well. So if Washington win a play-in game and make the playoffs, the Knicks will get 3 draft picks this year. The Detroit one is 1 to 18 protected. So the 4th pick potentially pick Detroit. That won't convey this season. However, the Knicks will have their own pick. They'll have the Dallas pick, 100%. That's top 10 protected. So Dallas's pick will definitely convey to the Knicks. And of course, the 3rd one, Washington. If Washington wins a play-in game and makes the playoffs, the Knicks get three first-round picks this season, all possibly in the top 20. Right hand, salute. Let's get it. Let's get it. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Yeah, the West Coast trip coming up, it's going to show us, Utah, it's going to be a crazy game. A lot of talk about that, the Spider Mitchell buzz. Then, of course, we go to Denver, place that hasn't been kind to us. Then Golden State, the reigning champs. Then the Phoenix Suns, coming good this season. And then we round out the trip in OKC. So, I mean, I wouldn't be confident saying we're going to win two to 3 games, Might be 1 or 2 at that point, what I'm expecting. What I'm expecting is Tibbs to be more consistent with his rotations. I think there's going to be a lot of blow up after this game, right? Once the bad PR starts to settle in, we usually start to see some changes, right? Like Pudge says, we got Emmanuel quickly garnering interest around the league, right? People are looking at our situation, right? The Knicks are playing Derrick Rose. They're playing Fournier minutes. Quickly's minutes have been elevated this season. Quickly's minutes been up. But still, a lot of people around the league feel like he could have a bigger role on them. Obviously, teams will be calling for Obi, right? Sincere says, I've been saying this for a while now. Trade Randall and RJ for Westbrook and Beverly. Send them home, sit Fournier, roll out the kids, right? Yeah, I assume you mean for the draft picks as well, not necessarily Westbrook and Beverly, but the Lakers picks. With that said, with Fournier, I wouldn't be surprised if he's moved tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks for a minute because he's expiring as well next season. He could be a scapegoat as well, but they do got to reduce his role. Right, yep. Washington looks pretty legit, right? KP as well. He went spaz yesterday and today as well. Yep. And small wins for this organization this season as well. Like I said, it's not about wins and losses. If we end up with 3 draft picks in the top 20, that gives us a lot of flexibility on draft night and in the summer as well. Any team that wants to rebuild quickly. They don't want picks in 2027, 2029. They want picks soon. Well, so the Knicks would be in a sexy situation with that because 3, 4, 5 picks in the next 3 seasons is good for a team wanting to flip some stuff as well. Also, it's an opportunity for the Knicks to move up in the draft if they need to. I know we always talk about moving up in the draft, fam, and a lot of people are sick about that. But the Knicks would have been in a better position previously. That's the fact. 3 draft picks in the top 20, stacked draft, that would get the Knicks up a few spots, you would have to think as well. So let's keep our eye on that. Also, not to sound like a broken record, but before the season started, I always kept saying, ladies and gents, this ain't the roster that's going to finish the season as well. There was too many question marks coming into the season with that. Too many question marks heading into this season, and we're seeing even more question marks now. I mean, those question marks weren't going away unless there's been some earlier trades, right? December, a key trade period to look out for, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be absolutely buzzing, right? There's talk that, I don't know if you guys heard, but and an executive around the league feels like the Miami Heat would be a good landing spot for Julius Randle as well. So pressure's mounting on this front office, right? Like I said, they've still got a lifeline. I don't think Tom Thibodeau has that lifeline that the front office does. So you make of that what you will. He's going to be the first scapegoat as well, whenever it's going to happen. Wayne, salute. RJ's tunnel vision makes his value a bit lower. I think with any RJ trade, it's definitely going to be a bigger package. I don't see a team just wanting to take RJ on his own. It might be RJ picks and other pieces as well. One thing I was saying, though, I think RJ's extension, the fact that that's kicked in, makes the trade a bit more easier. The team knows what salary is going to be on, right? Yeah, we do got to give Cam some flowers today. He played well, played to his strengths. That's what I've been saying. Cam Reddish got to drive to the cup. Don't worry about jump shooting. Cam Reddish's strength is attacking in the closeout, dribble, drive, and finishing with his length, right? Also want to bring up the fact that the Spider Mitchell trade, to talk about that, this hasn't changed my thoughts at all. I'm still happy the Knicks didn't trade for Spider as well. They held firm on that. I salute them for that, right? It was an unnecessary trade. If you want Spider, you can get him in 2 years, 1.5 years now. Spider Mitchell will 100% take this to the bank, will become an unrestricted free agent, right? He'll be 27, 28 years old and have never been a free agent before. He's definitely going to explore unrestricted free agency. And then that's when the Knicks could pick him up if they want. That's why I think Leon Rose didn't go all in. He's not silly in that regard. Say what you want about Leon. He's still learning how to be a president, but he's been a businessman for 30, 40 years. A successful businessman at that. Leon Rose, may not have been able to pull off that big deal to move the organization forward, but he hasn't done stupid trades either as well. He hasn't done a stupid trade yet as well. The Cam and the Rose trade were no-brainers. You could get on Rose in this front office for not being proactive enough, but I can't get on them for pulling off a bad trade. They were being patient with the Spider thing, and I did tweet out today, if our defense looks this bad right now, imagine what a Brunson Spider backcourt would look like. I mean, it would be even worse than that, even worse than what we're putting out for him, right? Salute, Keith. How you feeling today after this loss? Well, ruined everybody's Sunday, but hope everybody gets it next week. Another week to look ahead. Knicks hit the road. I think one or two, three wins would be the most at what we can expect. But yeah, the rotations, the talking point, the buzz is officially going to start mounting now. Ian Begley talking about Tibbs' seat warming up that Lily's been putting out on the chat. Talk about Emmanuel quickly now getting interest as well. You got to think some teams will call for Obi as well, right? The Knicks just need to pledge their allegiance to somebody. If it's Randall or if it's Obi, I think this situation moving forward, it's reached its end now. Reached its end with Randall and Obi, right? So, yeah, Randall put up some stats today, as you see in the box score. We're not going to give out any grades today, but we'll give out some honourable mention. Cam played a good game. Dudes had it popping in the first quarter. It's just how the Knicks lose games, really. It ain't about the loss. It's how they lose, as well. We're all looking for the direction of this franchise, right? This organization. Yep. Shah Legacy, salute. Spider would definitely have made us a better team offensively, no doubt about it. I feel like we've been okay offensively recently. Defensive issues are the main problem with these bad losses. Yeah, obviously Mitch and Grimes would have made a bigger difference, but it's a tough league right now. You know, like I said, OKC got length, and you can't take any team for granted anymore. You can't just come in and say we're going to beat OKC now. We're gonna whoop the Jazz. I don't think there's any team in the league where you can really say that. I mean, Detroit gave us all they could handle as well with no Cade as well. If we played Houston in Houston, I'm sure it'd be a tough game as well. So every game on this West Coast trip is going to be tough. OKC, the Jazz, and the 3 games in between, it's going to be real tough, right? Like what Kaiser's been saying, has been consistent, and a lot of fans want the Knicks to go young. James Dolan's here. Tom Thibodeau's here to win every single game. I don't see them letting go of the rope right now. With that, a lot of fans can dream of that, can wish on that. My thoughts are, even like I said in the last show, if the Knicks have 3 draft picks, I think their first move is to trade all of them as well. So I don't even think they're going to try to build through the draft. Kaiser, chat, ladies and gentlemen, streets is buzzing. Pop that like button. But yeah, I think the Knicks still are just adamant on trying to land a big guy, a big star with that situation, right? But man, only James Dolan knows. You know, he's in the rooms right now. We can only go on this path for so long, ladies and gentlemen, right? Yep. Sincere, I agree with this too, right? You can still play good, but have less impact on the game as well. There's 2 sides of the floor, basically. Remember names like Kemba Walker, names like that can put up points their whole career, but have been below average on the other side as well. You give up points, you score points, you give up points as well. I've said this before about Randall as well. I would take him putting up 10 less points if he defended better. I know this ain't who he is. He's not a defender, you know, and a lot of teams get by with players that don't defend. It seems like his effort at times just kills us as well. You know, we get on hot streaks, and then the other team gets hot. And this is the NBA. Like the other team is talented. Josh Giddey, SGA, these wings, they could put up points in a hurry. So it's like if you can't defend, you're not going to go anywhere. You know, you could put up 30 points a night. If you can't defend, you can't stop the other team, you're just not going to go anywhere, I don't think. Right? So JJ says we're not 1 star away, right? So trading all of our picks for a star ain't the way to go, in my opinion, either. Yep. I agree with that too, fam. I think that would be short-sighted. And look, it depends who they got lined up. You know, if there's a grand plan where you trade 3 picks and you get this star, and then if you get that star, another star is going to come, that's different. That's having a plan like the Miami Heat did, you know, and executing as well. And you form a big 3 and then you're okay. But yet there's no point in the Knicks doing that without a grand plan, you know, trading 3 picks for an all-star, but no one else coming is short-sighted, in my opinion, as well. Yep. We just got to build this thing organically. And I think that's what the Knicks have been failing to do. Like tonight's rotations was reflective of that, right? So what, RJ struggling, Obi, you know, made an error or whatever. You're at the point now where they're your future on this thing. You need to let them finish the game out. Right? And Tom Thibodeau is just too back and forth for me, right? He's just too back and forth. Yep. Keith, yep. Not confident with Leon and able to make that good trade. He's yet to prove he can, right, so far. Yep. And I use that word hoarding because, you know, ESPN put out that pod as well, talking about the Knicks' secret around the league is that they're hoarding these picks. Well, we're waiting to see, you know, when they're going to pull the trigger on that, right? when are they going to do it? Yep. If he trades all our picks, Kaiser says it'd be foolish as well in such a great draft. Yep. Unless the player is Giannis Embiid. Like I said, yeah, a big difference maker as well. Yep. As much as I like Spider, everyone was saying, if you get Spider, you needed to get somebody else. He wasn't going to take us over the top with that. So I'm all for a slower build, right? It ain't about wins and losses. For me, it's how we lose and how we win. Remember some of those amazing wins towards the end of last season in Miami, in Toronto. A lot of people were saying it was fool's gold because the other teams were tanking. Well, maybe they were, but it was just refreshing to see Quickly and Obi and those players win us games. I'd take that all day, every day, over over a bland win. With that, yeah, Philip, sad to say we can't really see the plan right now. With that, we're hoping and waiting for a CAA guy. At that point, Embiid went off tonight. I'll keep that. Damn, man. That's crazy talk. KP's been going off as well. Haven't completely forgiven KP, but I don't have any grudge against him. That's for sure. I think he found himself a home in Washington right now. He spazzed out last night and beat the Jazz, and he spazzed out tonight as well. I just want to see KP healthy with that. Yeah, I've been saying the similar thing, Keith, as well. I want to see more emotion from RJ on the court. He looks too content, too smooth as well. Fourth year, if you want to put this franchise on your back, I want to see some aggro from RJ as well, some emotion, some dog, like you said, as well. Yep. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, Cleveland had a great setup as well. That was conducive to their plan. I salute them, right? Getting Spider Mitchell was conducive to their plan because they already had great pieces, in place. Yep. And absolutely, the Wizards looking legit is also good for us too, fam. Yep, small wins with this situation. When Bradley Beal gets back, it's going to be nice with that. I still feel the Wizards will probably be a play-in team, but all they're going to do is win one play-in game, make the playoffs, and the Knicks will get the draft pick with that. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I said it was a quicker show as well. The chat's buzzing and would love to continue this conversation, but I got to wrap this thing up. But yeah, we'll be on in a minute. Best believe that. Look out for the buzz, the news, the wash up to come from this bad loss at MSG. Again, I can take a loss, but I can't take bad losses as well. Yeah, there's going to be some roster movement, I think, coming up. If it's addition by subtraction, I'm not necessarily saying it's going to be no blockbuster deal, but yeah, addition by subtraction. And I do feel like there's some pieces that some other teams may want as well. So I'm giving this front office a chance. Giving them a chance. And I'm keeping my eyes wide open, right, on red alert with this situation. But I do want to see the players of the future of this team, right? Whoever's part of the future, invest in them, rock with them. You know what I mean? Let them make mistakes. Let them play through it without the fear of being yanked. You know what I mean? Players just play scared. You know what I mean? Yep. That's a good point too, right? That's why I salute Leon for not making the trade. Definitely. The Knicks just weren't in that best position to make that trade, fam. I wholeheartedly believe that. And I also feel sneakily that Leon Rose, with his great connections with Donovan, may have heard something that Donovan wants to come back home in 2 years' time, and finish his career. I'm all for signing players as a free agent. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you with this before I wrap this thing up. We heard Spider say in his interview how much he looked forward to finishing or playing at home, close to his mum, close to his family, right? The dude's been in boarding school since he was 16 years old, went to Utah, now he's in Cleveland, right? There was too many subliminals out there that said he wants to finish or play in New York, close to home. So, be patient, look out for that. 2 years' time, Spider will be a free agent, unrestricted as well. So let's keep an eye out on that. And appreciate you all for rocking on this quick post game as well. We'll catch you soon after the Utah game as well. You already know what it is. Best fan base in the world, best chat in the biz. Streets is buzzing. Pop that like button, and many blessings, and we'll catch you on the next one. Salute.